Look alive, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, AK, back again for the Saturday night NFL Wildcard stream. Super Wildcard. We call it what it is. We're not going to sit there and lie to ourselves that the NFL thinks that they can just be like, oh, we're just going to drop the Super right out of this. No, not on our watch. Not today. We are going to stick with Super Wildcard Weekend. There's no reason why they took it away from us. So that's absolutely ridiculous. And everybody should be in agreement that we need Super Wildcard Weekend. So what a day of football, ladies and gentlemen. What a day of football. The rest of the boys, not here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. I believe J-Vi might be back tomorrow. So we've got a lot going on here. But this is going to be a short one. We just need to get on here and talk about these games. I mean, the first game, now we had company over during the first game, so I took some notes. I was writing down notes throughout. I usually write down notes when I watch football. Call me a nerd, call me a loser. I don't care. Right now they're showing the pick six for the Chargers game on the TV. And that's the big topic at hand, ladies and gentlemen. Is if you are let's say you're a Chargers fan or you're a Steelers fan, who is more mad right now? Because if you're a Steelers fan, you've got the dilemma of, oh my gosh, what do we do with Mike Tomlin? Never had a losing season, but we're always down by 30 in the playoffs in the first two quarters of the game. And if you're the Chargers, yikes-o, ladies and gentlemen. Yikes if you're the Chargers. Now, this Texans win, we're going to talk about that game first. Lamar, Henry, Ravens take care of business late. Nobody was surprised by that. This game, however, Chargers were the favorite, I think by 3.5. So they scored one touchdown. That was Ladd McConkey, who had 200 yards receiving, 197 to be exact. And on an absolute seed by Justin Herbert, and that's enough for people to be like, oh, this is why he's great, this and that. Yes, B. McCormick's back. Let's go. Let's go. We are going to get angry about it because people are angry at me, right? Of course, we always check the win percentage, guys. We always check the win probability. It was in the Chargers' favor up until halftime. And then halftime is when things got really, 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 really testy. The Texans went on that long drive. I think it was 99 yards. They went 99 yards. Not much happened in the first quarter, but hold on. If you're the Chargers, everybody's yelling at me. Yes, B. McCormick, I'm sorry about your Steelers. If you're the Chargers, everybody's yelling at me because the first thing everybody did when the game was over was run to the internet and go to their archived or drafted tweets and be like, see, Justin Herbert, I told you, look when I said this earlier this year is Justin Herbert's not that good, this and that. Guys, and I said to Robert Griffin III, who said, I don't even remember what he said, hope they talk about Justin Herbert like they talk about Lamar and Dak, and there's undertones of certain things there, and I'm just like, why are we talking about Justin Herbert? Like, have people not watched this guy? He's had 3 or 4 chances in the NFL to have a big moment. He gave up a 27-point lead in the playoffs last year. Like, are we that shocked that he is faltering? Like, I don't know what to tell people because I'm just sitting here thinking, like, to myself, like, why are we jumping all over Justin Herbert? This is who he is. This is what he does. He throws interceptions. He loses the big game. He folds under pressure. Like, it goes all the way back to college. Like, I don't get it. He's got the most active losses as a QB since he was drafted. Like, he's a 500 quarterback. And everybody's, oh, wins are a quarterback stat? Well, yeah, they are, because in the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you throw for 500 yards and you lose, because what matters is that you win. And I'm sitting here saying, let's talk about C.J. Stroud and the Texans and not about Justin Herbert. I don't care about Justin Herbert. I do not care. This is what he is. He loses big games. It's what he does. You know, and as far as the Steelers go, three teams in the AFC have not won in the last month. It is the Titans, who have the first pick, the Browns, who have the second pick, and the Steelers, who have not won a game in over a month. So winner's right there. That's what what's his face? Marcus Freeman. They hold the pen. They hold the pen. Yeah, bad game. But I mean, this is what Herbert does. That's what I'm saying. Like, people ran to the internet to be like, I told you about Herbert. I'm like, have you not watched the guy? Yes, he's tantalizing with his 6'6" frame and his rocket arm and his beautiful, voluptuous hair. But when it comes to winning football games, when you need him the most, he's not there. You know, and they scored 12 points. Now, I mean, Texans defense was really good, but I mean, for the most part, this game early on was, I mean, it was 6-0. It was 6-0 basically for the entire half. So until the end, and then the Texans go on that 13 play 99-yard drive. And I think early on, like, I'm not saying Stroud played great early on, but Stroud played better in the second half. But you had the what I mean by that in these two teams is in the first. I wrote this down in the first third down conversion by either team was with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. That's how terrible this game was early on. Like, these two teams, I don't know if they were nervous, but they one third down conversion with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. That means they played over 20 minutes of football with neither of them converting a third down. So that is terrible. In the first quarter, somehow there was a block punt that still went like 40 yards. So Texans blocked the punt and everybody's fired up, but then it rolls like another 40 yards. So it ended up being like a 41-yard punt, which was hilarious. That always cracks me up. So, and then right before the half, on that 99-yard touchdown drive, we had CJ Stroud, ball goes through his hands, and then he gets up, converts the third down on a pretty ridiculous play, but I don't know how that ball squirted through his hands. But yeah, and then there was two main plays in that, which is the two main plays in this game that kind of really determined the fate of it. One of them was the less than 2 minutes to go on that same drive, 99-yard drive, was Dalton Schultz caught a pass, took a few, made a football move or took a step or two or whatever, and the ball got slapped out. Could have been a fumble. Didn't rule that. Then you had the Derwin James interception that got called back. It's Herbie the Love Bug. There you go, dude. Herbie the Love Bug. So was it a catch? Was that an interception? What is a catch? Nobody knows. It has way too much impact on the game. So, but anyway, so you're looking at it's 10-0. So, I think Herbert threw a pick right here. I'm pretty sure. So that they were trying to go down the field, and Herbert throws a pick before half. So then it's 10-6 instead of just 7-6. Because right there they kicked a field goal. They kicked a field goal with 3 seconds to go in the half. I'm pretty sure that was right before the half. Let's check that out. I don't want to misspeak, but yeah, let's do that. So 6 all the way come down here. Oh, they punted 3 plays, 0 yards, 31 seconds. It wasn't an interception. So yeah, there you go. Incomplete pass, second time out, incomplete pass, incomplete. So 3 incomplete passes, they punt, and then CJ Stroud goes down, gets him into field goal range, boom, touchdown or field goal. Now you got 10-7 going into the half, and then hey, people who thought the under was in live here, hey, shout out if you bet 40. What I don't even remember what the over was. I want to say it was around 42.5 potentially. So shout out if it did hit the over. But anyways, so we had all that going on in the first half. So in the third quarter, the Derwin James interception, six 6 minutes to go, around 7 minutes to go. That was a big call. Big call. Because that was a heck of a play, and CJ Stroud and Justin Herbert determined that they were just gonna throw alternating interceptions all day long. So this throw was ridiculous late in the game to Ladd McConkey, by the way. So that was legit. But we get Fairbairn with another shout out Fairbairn, who decides to have the game of his life after he cost me the championship by not scoring any points in my championship matchup. 0 from a kicker. But to end the third quarter, this is where things kind of went south, right? Everything's kind of mowing along pretty good. Stroud's throwing interception, Herbie's throwing interception. They're trading field goals. Everybody's like, this is why the Texans play at 4:30 on Saturday, Wildcard Weekend. This stinks. And then right before the third quarter ends, Justin Herbert decides to throw a pick six. And then it's 20-6. And in the fourth quarter, we get he throws another interception, and then they get a field goal. The Texans do, and then he comes right back, and at this point, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, he's the worst quarterback of all time. He stinks." This and that, and then what's he do? He throws an absolute missile over the middle to Ladd McConkey. It's just an impossible throw, and then Ladd McConkey goes 86 yards to the house. And then after that, there was even more calamity. The Cameron Dicker got his PAT blocked, swats it down because he's like, "Oh, this is great," but it's behind the line of scrimmage. Touches the ball, it's behind the line of scrimmage. The Texans pick it up and take it all the way to the house. They get 2 points for that. Oh my gosh, it's just this game was stupid. It was a Charger game. I think Boltman was in the stands. I don't get it. But and then Joe Mixon taps it off. We get the last touchdown, and there you go. It ends up being 32-12. Everybody's yelling at Herbie, Harbaugh. I didn't even see what he said after the game, but he was yelling at people. There was, Nickelodeon MVP was on the line, the MVP. So, but Will Anderson, I don't know if the Chargers just decided not to block him, but that exactly, Mellow Mike. I'm sitting here and that's what I had in my notes. That's why Will Anderson is on the thumbnail. Like Will Anderson was unstoppable. And so is Danielle Hunter. It's just like there were certain plays where it's just like they didn't block anybody. They didn't block it. They didn't block a damn soul. It was awful. But, still don't throw 4 interceptions. But, it was and on that block PAT, the kicker got absolutely housed. I mean, he swatted that ball down, and then do you remember the scene in one of the Avengers where they have to travel back in time, and the Hulk goes into the Doctor Strange's shadow realm and has to go back in time, and that bald chick hits him in the chest, and Mark Ruffalo goes flying back, and then the Hulk is like slow motion, just froze in time. That's how hard the kicker got hit. Dicker the kicker. He got sent into the shadow realm, into the whatever the what's that? Not the Matrix, but what is, I forget what the other I forget what that thing is called, the quantum realm. There you go. Quantum realm. Not the shadow. Well, both of them actually. So Texans move on, and we'll just, look at that. They had it all. Right before the half, they were in control. Look at that. They were up to 72.7%. And then everything changed. Everything changed. But man, I'm telling you, these stats are ugly, ladies and gentlemen. Herbert with a 40.9 rating. There's nothing that needs to be said for him. CJ Stroud was okay. He found a rhythm in the second half, but these stats are hilarious. Like, Joe Mixon finally got going. CJ Stroud probably had the most rushing yards he's ever had in his life in a game, especially the NFL, I'm pretty sure. But Nico Collins went off. He spread the ball around, but the Chargers have one dude and one. But this
This is what people like. The Chargers overachieved this year, and I don't care what you feel about Herbert or not. I'm not talking about Herbert. He is what he is. He is what he said. Be sure to mention Lively Suck costing me. Good show. So thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, dude. Buttery Biscuits, you have a good evening. And yes, Lively sucked. Well, I don't know if he sucked, but he didn't do what he needed to do. But yes, pick sixes will cost you this time of year. But I don't care about, like, people are yelling at me on Twitter. People are Herbie going to get tagged. Yeah, I mean, Glenberg, welcome in Glenberg, new face. He's going to get tagged, but if you knew him at Oregon and you knew what he was doing, this is what he does, right? He gets in these situations, he collapses. Don't forget, 27 points they gave up last year. And then there was a game a couple years ago where they had to win to get into the playoffs, and he didn't win it. So, like, there's a pattern here. There's a pattern here. Yes, going to get tagged a choker. He is a choker. He was a choker at Oregon. He was a choker 2 or 3 years ago. Like, and people are yelling at me because, like, he deserves to get criticized. I'm not saying he doesn't, but you guys have been holding on to Herbie's going to be good for too long. He's got all the skills and this and that, yes, but he doesn't win the big games. That's just how it goes. He's just one of those guys. And I gave up on that a long time ago. Like, it's well documented on the show. But Ladd McConkey was absurd. But I mean, if you look at the team stats from this game, I mean, it's fair, first downs, third down efficiency, not that far off. Total plays, Chargers had more, or Texans had more because they kept giving the ball back to, the Texans. J.K. Dobbins had a terrible game. What was that? I had him 72.5 over rushing, receiving. He did nothing. Nothing. Ladd McConkey. But the Chargers, I guess you could call him a guns. He's got a cannon, dude. He's got an absolute, that throw to McConkey was stupid. Stupid. So, yeah, Ladd McConkey's over-under receptions was 5.5. So, shout out that guy. But, the Texans put it on him late. I mean, just put it on him. So, man, they ran the football late. They did run the football late. Can't be 0-1 in the red zone. Texans had all kinds of penalties. So, the Chargers, I think, were a year or two ahead of schedule. If you believe in Herbert, good for you. If you want to yell at me on Twitter like everybody's doing right now because I said let's talk about Stroud and how he's 2-1 in the playoffs and wins games and Herbert does not. People want to just pile on Herbert and they want to make it about some other issue that it shouldn't be about. But Rex Ryan's going to get a large helping of crow to check. That's what I'm saying. Like right now, if you want to pile on Herbert, do it on Monday. But right now, the Texans won the game. C.J. Stroud outplayed him. And C.J. Stroud's 2-1 in the playoffs. Like, say what you want. His season didn't go like he wanted to. Whatever. C.J. Stroud wins these games. That's what matters. And everybody's quarterback's it's not a winning stat. Winning's not a quarterback stat. I'm like, yes, it is. In the playoffs, it is. It 100% is. So take out the deep shot of dude, he was, because that was an 86-yarder, man. Without that 86-yarder, he was 150. That was 156 yard he had thrown for. 156 yards before that. Check my math. 146 or 156 yards he had thrown for before that touchdown. That's terrible. But again, I had no expectations of him. I picked the Texans because he's playing quarterback. And everybody's yelling at me on Twitter and online about, you're not going to admit that he played. Like, yes, he played, but I didn't expect anything out of him. There's a difference. If you had all these high hopes and he threw 4 picks and lost the game today, that's your fault because you believed in that. I did not. It was done a long time ago. He can't win the big games. It's just what it is. So I'm not going to talk about Herbert because that's what he does. You can't get your expectations up for Herbert and then place them on me because I'm dismissive of it because I knew that's what he was going to do. That's why I picked the Texans. And then some guys said, well, did you have it over 4.5 INT ticket? No, I wouldn't even know where to find that. I bet the winner. Like, that's what I did. So, anyways, there we go. Yes, 9 for 22 that is It's bad. It's bad. They should have ran the ball. Now he threw 4 interceptions. That's more interceptions than he threw all year. He threw 4 interceptions today, which is more than he threw all year. But Texans D likes to play that from now on. I'm telling you, man, I did put Texans to make the AFC Championship. That was in April, though. And then the season happened. I'm like, that looks terrible. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe that's why I believe in CJ Stroud more than anybody else. So, anyways, it is a tough look for him that he said he's the 5th best quarterback in the league. All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's switch gears. That is B. McCormick. You are 100%. That is a joke, my friend. That is abysmal, and it hurt my eyes. There's not much football that hurts my eyes, dude. There's not much football that hurts my eyes. You're right. Well, except for Lamar. Except for Lamar on Christmas. Was that Christmas Day? No, was it? Was it Christmas Day where Fairbairn got 0 points and crushed my fantasy football dreams because the Texans got 31-2 at home? But yes. But all right, let's switch to this other game. Initially, like the first quarter, guys. When Baltimore went right down the field, you're just like, oh gosh, this is gonna be awful. And Lamar he played well. I mean, it was 16-21, 175-2. I mean, made some play, but I mean, when they give the ball to Derrick Henry oh, there you go. Yep, Christmas. He had 3 days to prepare and played 3 games in 11 days. So yeah, the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Texans, that was some weird stuff going on there. Some weird stuff going on. But I like DeMeco. I'm a Niners fan, as you can tell. Like, you can see that behind. So I like DeMeco Ryans. So I think it's all the notes I had. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, man. The Steelers. The Steelers haven't won. Now I'm happy I didn't want, and we just listened. Yeah. The game was. They were Stroud and Herbert early on were throwing like we're trading bad throws. It was bad with picks, this and that. Stroud balls going through his hand, all that stuff. You look at this. You look at this number: 20-29, 270, and 2 times. I don't know why the Steelers didn't throw the ball downfield. I don't know why they didn't. I know they probably couldn't protect Russell Wilson, but when they went downfield, I mean, at what point do you say we have to start? Like, what offense are you running? The Steelers are the most inefficient offense of all time. If you're a Steelers fan, the question is today, what do you do with Mike Tomlin? I'm not going to ask for another man's job. I'm not going to call for another man's job. Yeah, he's as a Steelers fan. B. McCormick's Steelers fan. It's misery. Well, they gave you a couple of glimpses but in these games where you're an underdog and you haven't won a game in a month and a half, like when you have the ball before the half and you're down 14-0, like in Baltimore, did they get I can't remember if they got the ball at the end of the half or beginning of the second half or not. Like, there were 2 instances in the first half where, like, you had a chance to be like, we're going for this thing. There was a 4th and inches on the first half. They didn't go early on. And then before the half, there's 2.5 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go, and the Steelers punt it to the Ravens. And then they get the Ravens to run 2 plays, stop them on 3rd and 3, or stop them to get them to 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4. And they call a timeout. And I'm like, okay, they at least are going to try. And then they just give that up, and the Ravens go down and score a touchdown and make it 21. They go 98 yards, make it 21-0 before the half. It's like, if you were going to be aggressive, you should have been aggressive dying on the sword. Your defense hadn't really stopped them all night. I'd rather give my offense. I mean, it was just, I don't know. They run an antiquated offensive philosophy and refuse to change more. They do. It looks like it's stuck in the late 2000s, where it was, you got Sean Alexander in the backfield, where you just hand it to him or Terrell Davis and they just run it 40 times a game. But, Najee Harris is sitting here with 6 carries for 17 yards. Like, that's not going to get it done. there's no, it's just snap it and either throw it. Like there's no fancy motion. There's no, you know, crossing routes. There's no schematics in the running game that create, eyes moving from the defensive backfield and the linebackers and all this. There's nothing. It's none of that. It's a very terrible, terrible offense to watch, especially as a fan. I couldn't imagine. But yeah, more of these Chuck Knowles. I mean, it open up Madden 98, and then back when Mike Allstott was playing, and they just turn and hand him the ball and be like, "Hey, I hope you can run over everybody, because if not, we stink." But again, that before the half, the Steelers looked dead, like they looked disinterested for a while. The second drive of the game, the Ravens ran the ball 13 times and threw it 0 times. 0 times. They didn't throw the ball once on the second drive. So, Baltimore had 21 rushes in the first half. Now, everybody was yelling at them. Oh, there's that block kick. Look at that. He got kicked right somebody hit him right in the solar plexus. But they had 21 rushes in the first half, which they only had 13 against the Chiefs last year in the AFC Championship. So they ran the damn ball, which is what they should have done. He's saying bye to Tomlin. I got you. Yes, every single coordinator position was fired. Like, yeah, dude. Steelers are in trouble, man. Now look, on this win probability, it was never in question. It dipped back up there for a second, but it was hanging out in the 90s. Pittsburgh, tell you how great they ran the ball. Baltimore, they had 227 yards allowed after contact. The Steelers did. That's the worst ever. It's the worst ever. 227 yards after contact. The Steelers weren't tackling. You had T.J. Watt going out. You had Cam Hayward going out. Like, the Ravens were bullying these guys. I mean, that's what it was. I don't know. The Ravens are good. I don't know if this is like, oh my gosh, they're really good, or if this is the Steelers really stink. Like, they stink bad, because you can't, after contact, to give up the Ravens rushed for 300 yards. So after contact, they got 227 of those. Like, the Steelers can't tackle. When did that happen? Like, that's a trademark for Mike Tomlin. Like, hard-nosed defense, tackle, discipline. They weren't disciplined. Normally, they're very disciplined against Lamar. They were allowing him to run all over the place. So, I don't know. But, Pickens, bright spot for the Steelers. He had 2 ridiculous catches. That one where he caught it on the sideline, spun. He's got just crazy body control. Complete idiot sometimes, but man, is that guy. When he wants it, he can be the best. He's unbelievable. There goes Derrick Henry. Look at that, Derrick Henry. So, and the Steelers, 4th and season on the line. 4th and season on the line, right? The Steelers, like, late in the game, like 6 minutes to go. The season's on the line. It's 4th and, 12 or something. 15, 10. I don't remember. 15 is 4th and 12, 15, whatever. And they throw a jump ball to Calvin Austin, who's like the shortest guy on their team, and into like triple coverage. So that just like their offense is just throw it up. It looks like Texas's offense, where you're just like, what is this? What am I watching? Like, every now and then a freak athlete will make a play that kind of puts you back in the game. But I mean, as far as Lamar, and then you had the Rashad Bateman score, and early on, and then pretty much nothing for a while, other than Derrick Henry. And then you had the 90-yard drive. I mean, look at those 2 drives by the Ravens. 13 plays, 85 yards, 8 minutes, 9 play. I mean, look at those first 3 drives. Look at that. I mean, that's it. I got to admit, that's impressive. Like, the Steelers suck, but oh my gosh, man. Oh, so you trade Tomlin like the Raiders did Gruden, and they would be the most coveted. Yeah. I mean, they get Sam Darnold might come down there. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Could bring Mason Rudolph back. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't know. Being in that division will be tough. Who's the leader of the Steel? I love, Russell Wilson's new saying is, let's weld. He's the cheesiest guy you've ever met. Cheesiest guy you ever met. So yeah, Derrick Henry. Look at these 3 drives. That's pretty impressive. You're talking about 26, 35 plays for almost 300 yards in the first half. All these drives, 7 to 8 minutes, except for the last one when the Steelers thought they were going to try to get back in the game. And the Steelers are down 21. Again, they were down 20 points again. I don't know. That's a good question, man. You'd think TJ Watt, but I think it's Cam Hayward, honestly. He's been there the longest, I think. I think he's been there the longest. So he's kind of the gray beard in the room. All right, so third quarter comes on by, and then we're like, all right, here we go. Van Jefferson, Russell Wilson throwing absolute moon balls, 21-7, and then Derrick Henry straight up the gut. You know, God, the guy's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. Derrick Henry is unbelievable. Like, I don't know. Lamar at 600. Lamar at 602 rushing yards through his career in the playoffs. That's the most all time. So shout out to him. He got hurt early on. He got hit in the back by a knee from Logan Wilson, who also is a freak for the Steelers. So jealous the Niners didn't draft that guy. But yeah. So Lamar. Look, man. Their leading receiver was their backup tight end. He threw for 175 yards. He was efficient. Like, that's what people are saying. Like, he's efficient. And you watch the game, it was never in doubt. Like, that game was never in doubt. The Steelers are terrible. But I'm telling you right now, this man right here, this dude right here, is this the one to Pickens? How he just, whoop, thought he was going to get crushed. Absolute, dude, he's unbelievable, man. But Derrick Henry, when they give him the ball more than 20 times, game over. Game over. They don't lose. When he rushes for more than 100 yards, the Ravens are 8-0. They are 8-0 when he goes over 100 yards. That's crazy, man. When he doesn't, they're 3-5. Stark difference. They have to get him the football. I said that last night on a show. Get him the football. Nick Saban next. Oh, you think we're gonna have Harbaugh Saban again? AFC Championship? Let's go. I love how hard William tries. Yes. So yeah. Let's just take a look at the team stats. The Ravens had 299 rushing yards, 29 first downs, 10 of 15 on third down. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. They had 27 more plays, almost 200 more yards, same amount of drives. That just means that they sustain drives. That's what they mean. Very efficient, but Russ was pretty efficient passing too. I don't know, they just didn't let him throw it. But rushing yards, my gosh, dude, this can't happen. This cannot happen. This is bad. 29 rushing yards to 2. It's like they forgot a number right here. 50 rushing attempts. Like, they had a drive where they ran it 13 times. Time of possession doubled up. Like, nobody turned the ball over, which is kind of odd. So Baltimore moves on. They'll face the winner of, I guess, they could host if Buffalo loses. So weird we haven't had the NFC games. So I don't know. I don't know what people are going to say about Lamar's game. He was efficient, but I mean, your running back ran for more than you threw. So, Lamar had 70. How many rushing yards did Lamar have? Let's go to the box score. He had 81. So he had 250 total yards. It's a good game. 132 rating. I mean, again, it's efficient. But I'm not going to say he played bad. I'm going to say he played great. I mean, he was good. I mean, he was really good. But it's this guy right here. This guy makes it go. He does. I'm sorry. 26 for 186. They run that little zone read where it's inside zone and Henry and that's what he scored on, I think. I think it was inside zone. Where Lamar is going right, and you can see the linebackers just splitting. They have no idea where to go. So, but anyways, Derrick Henry, when he's going, good luck, man. Good luck. Hey, Josh. Here's the question, man. I mean, look at this. The Ravens, when they give when they give the ball to Derrick Henry more than 20 times, they don't lose. When he rushes for more 100 yards, they don't lose. They're 8-0. So, you know what I'm saying? And he ran for 186 yards. Josh, they didn't pass a ball one time. They had a 13-play drive where they did not throw a pass, man. Like, who do you think makes it go? Or do you think it's both of them? Do you think it's Henry and Lamar? Because I think adding Henry, that supercharged Lamar. I just think so. I'd be nervous playing. Man, that defense, man. Houston's defense is no joke. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Stingley. I mean, it's untraditional. I don't, they're going to go as far as Derrick Henry runs the football, right? Because that's when it gets sticky for the Ravens, right? When they have to get into a shootout throwing, and they've proven it this year. But we're going to see about, we're going to see. So, they were favored before the year. So, but I don't know. I do know if they keep feeding the ball to Derrick Henry, they're going to be okay. I mean, when you can run the ball 13 times without throwing it, I mean, if Brock Purdy did that, they'd be like, see, they don't revolve around him and all, you have to add Henry in the mix. It complements the option pass game. I mean, they run 2 tight ends. When they ran 2 tight ends against Steelers last time, they had 16 receptions for like 160 yards. You know what I mean? Like, they got 2 tight ends on the field. So that makes them very multiple, right? So you got a lot of people at the line of scrimmage, 2 dudes in the backfield, right? So you can arc block that tight end on the edge when you run that mesh on the zone on either side, because you got athletes with Likely and Andrews out there, man. Like that's crazy. It is. It's weird. It's very weird. And if you let him run around and try to, but when they go to 12 personnel, like, that's crazy, man. They can do a lot out of that because it puts the linebackers in a bind, right? The linebackers and the safety protect the middle of the field. Like, they run that little zone read nonsense. Derrick Henry's coming downhill, pull the ball out, zippity zappity, rip it to the tight end up the seam or on a crossing route. Linebacker and safeties are in no man's land. I mean, there are wide receivers just wide open, and then Derrick Henry slaps Mickey Fitzpatrick into the shadow realm. But I'm telling you, man, it's most pros copyright to game on. But yeah, man. All right. I'm done. I want to go to bed. Tired. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That was fun. Congrats to the Ravens. Congrats to the Texans. We got 3 more games tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. Finally get some NFC football action. Bills, Broncos, 1:00. J-Vi will be tuned in. And we got Packers, Eagles. Then we got Commanders and Buccaneers. Baker. So let me pull this down here, and let's see. I'm gonna pull up. Here we go. Let me pull this up before we get it going. We got a few questions here. That's nice. These are all of our socials, ladies and gentlemen. Podcast comes out every Monday, Thursday. I do live shows, I don't know, a couple times a week, but we for certain do live shows on Wednesdays and Sundays, 9:30. Who's the AFC sleeper now? That's tough, man. I mean, the only real sleeper could be the Texans. It can only be the Texans, right? Because, I mean, the Chiefs aren't a sleeper. The Ravens aren't a sleeper. The Bills aren't a sleeper. So, unless the Broncos win, I don't see that happening. But Bills, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs. Oh, my gosh, man. Either way, the AFC Championship, because I think the Chiefs will win. But either way, these next few games in the AFC are going to be freaking electric. going to be electric. It's going to be awesome. National championship prediction. Man, it's hard to pick against Ohio State, man. That defense for Notre Dame just playing inspired football, man. And Texas showed you, but you can take away Jeremiah Smith and it makes them beatable. But if Jeremiah Smith goes, dude, it is good luck. But Texas had just absolute monsters up front on the defensive line. They have monsters, 6'6", 330 pounds, like 2 or 3 of them. And so the Ohio State wasn't running the football. You know, they had that screen pass that went 90 yards, but they weren't running the football in Texas. So I don't know that Notre Dame can do that. I think you might see Ohio State run the ball. Like, or I don't know. Their receivers are so talented they should just keep throwing it. They tried to run the ball against Michigan and that got them beat. So if I'm Ohio State, just keep throwing it. Who cares? So I want to see Notre Dame win because I like what's his face, the coach, Freeman. I like him. And I think it'd be hilarious for Ohio State to lose, but I don't know. So I'm hopeful for Notre Dame. But, well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. That was awesome. Glenberg, thanks for stopping by. B. McCormick, thanks for hanging out. As always, we're going to be back tomorrow night for the full show, the full gang. We're going to recap all these games. Talk a little college football and then recap the games, and hopefully J-Vi is not in a bad mood. Well, it would be funny. It's great for the show when he is. And then we'll talk about the Monday night game too. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody tuning in this late on a Saturday night, but I love doing this, and it's a lot of fun. Fish, hang out with the kids. Had some good fish today too. Peel and eat shrimp, maybe. Plain. All right, we'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody. Go check out the new podcast. We had a cool interview, and follow us on all the social medias, and come yell at us on Twitter. Everybody likes to do that. We do love football, being McCormick. See you later, everybody. Happy Super Wildcard Weekend. Don't forget it.